Okay, so welcome to this video. I've just shown my wife some of videos of Melanie Martinez, the pop singer, and I just want to say first, before my wife Tara says anything about what she saw, that I believe Melanie Martinez is being used by the music industry, like so many other artists, to put out certain messages. So this isn't a criticism of her as a human being, because I've seen interviews with her, and she actually seems like a very nice person. But I believe she's being used, or it seems very obvious, she's being used by the music industry to put certain messages out to young girls. And if you don't know Melanie Martinez, then she... her songs they sound like nursery rhymes. The names of the songs have got nursery rhyme titles like The Wheels on the Bus and, I don't know, things about kindergarten. And so the songs are aimed at young children, but they're actually very twisted and dark and disturbing. So they're actually getting these very dark messages to young girls. And obviously, girls, who might be like 5, 6, 7 or older, because the songs really sound like little nursery rhymes. So I showed my wife Tara a few of the videos, a few excerpts from the videos, and Tara, she was pretty shocked and disturbed. And my main concern, Tara, is for the young girls. So we could talk about the agenda of why it's all happening and why these messages are being aimed at young girls. But my main concern is for the young girls who are getting these messages and thinking they're cool or exciting, because it is weird. It's very, very weird and dark, and so a lot of kids will be watching them thinking, "Oh, this is different to my everyday life. My nice the normal people who smile at me, and this is all dark and weird. This is more appealing." Do you have anything to say about that?
Well, it was completely disturbing, very, very disturbing. I think, what disturbed me more than anything was just this kind of erosion of innocence, and so the twisting of the nice things. So the idea that it's there's something dark about innocence and sweetness and playing with dolls and making it all look very dangerous and ominous,
like fake and empty, and
fake and empty,
and there's something weird underneath.
Yeah, that's right. So my fear is that it would cause young people or anyone who watches this kind of thing to start sort of being suspicious of anything that looks nice or sweet or innocent.
Yeah, normal.
Yeah, normal. Like if someone's smiling at you, they're fake, or if they play with dolls, there's something dodgy going on. I don't know. It's just the whole thing. It's very, very disturbing. Extremely disturbing. Too much.
Yeah,
too much.
And even before that, there was a video. I showed Tara the video for Dollhouse, which is Melanie Martinez's kind of biggest hit, 300 million views. And before that video, there was an ad, just a normal ad like you get before other videos, but this one was just basically a song about, it was called Sweet Demon, Take My Soul, and it was all about a lady, like a goth, dressed in black, singing it over and over again, Sweet Demon, Take My Soul. And it was a picture of a lady whose husband was possessed by demons, and then she became possessed by demons, and they were both demonically possessed. And that was like quite an adult, strong, dark video. But that advert was right before the video for Doll's House. So you can imagine how many millions of people are looking at this. Yeah. And so it's obviously an agenda to sell the demonic realm to young girls. And it's very, very disturbing that this is happening so widespread.
It's like I was saying as well, because in the other one where like the sort of Teletubby creatures are growing big, and
Mad Hatter.
Is that what that is?
It's called Mad Hatter.
So they all look very scary, strange and weird and scary. And I'm just thinking about all the young kids who play with these, little furry animals, and they're sweet, like we see our children play with their dolls and their animals. But then when you see something like that, it just makes them... that's why I talk about the twisting of innocence, because then... they won't see them in the same way. They won't see the toys they play with, the doll's house, the dolls, the animals. They won't just see them for what they are. They'll be their minds twisted by these images. So that are scary and strange and weird.
In that video, Mad Hatter, these little fairy creatures, like they're rabbits, I think, or what are they? They're some little fairy creatures. They take knives and they kill the parents. So you could imagine this might make young children fantasize, play games with their dolls about, these dolls are going to kind of kill my parents because my parents are a hassle. My parents are so normal. My parents are so fake and plastic that these, you can imagine young girls fantasizing about these little dolls coming along and stabbing their parents, which is what the video shows. It's clear there's an agenda in the videos to make young girls think that the weird side is the best side to be on. That the parents who look normal, who are polite and smile, and they're the weird ones. That's the really weird reality. And the reality where you're crazy and everything's upside down and you're losing your mind, then that's much safer. That's much more. You feel much more at home there. I tell you what disturbed me most as well was just how many knives there are in these videos. It always seemed to manage to slip one in there, one great big, I don't know what very big kitchen knife. Butcher's knives, aren't they?
Like the one where she's sitting on one, and then she was licking the knife and her tongue was all bleeding.
It's jam, I think.
Is it?
Well, that's part of the agenda, to make women hate men. Start with the young kids. Make young kids resent boys. Make them think that boys are just a pain, or just useless and kind of get in the way of everything. They ruin everything. Boys. So there's obviously an agenda to turn girls into homosexuals, so that they prefer the company of another girl instead of there is in all these videos, to make them feel more kind of at home and more comfortable with the idea of having a girlfriend than a boyfriend, because boys are just repulsive. And in Melanie Martinez's videos, all the young boys are portrayed as really repulsive and selfish and greedy and unappealing in every way. So is there anything else you'd like to say about?
Well, just I'm kind of glad that you're taking it on to address it. I find it totally disturbing and weird, and I fear for the children. Any of the children who are exposed to watching these kind of things, and I fear for what it does to them. And I know how it disturbs you also, but I can kind of see why you want to shine a light on it. I know you don't want to, but you feel like it's a calling, and so I pray for your protection. I actually do, that you can even look at these things, that you can speak about them, and that you can shine a light on them, because it's almost too shocking for me. That is the truth. I feel like I want to protect our children from this. I don't want my children watching this kind of stuff, and I'm not weird. And
can I ask you a question? So imagine you're a young girl. Imagine when you were 12, 13, and you saw things like that. What would your response have been?
I would have probably been quite scared. It might have stopped me from sleeping. It might have given me bad dreams. It would have made me fearful. It would have made me fearful of my grandparents and my mother was weird. It was dark and weird, but my grandparents were sweet and normal, and I might have, maybe even I was indoctrinated in some way, but this idea that there's something that is sweet and normal and innocent and good is twisted and dark and weird, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yes, in the film, in the video from Mad Hatters, they're called normals. She calls it normals, and how they're the weird ones, they're the dangerous ones, and this idea that the little bunnies come along and stab the normals. And they're her real friends. The little bunnies are her real friends, and the normals are just kind of like these strange alien creatures who are kind of destroying her.
It's I worry, actually, just talking about it now. I'm wondering if maybe I was slightly indoctrinated myself, because I remember when I got to be about 11, 12, I stopped going to visit my grandparents. You know,
right.
I did.
You didn't want to see them anymore.
I didn't want to see them. I found I did find it all too normal, and I did become a goth, and I started getting into weird kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I remember I didn't see my grandparents, and my grandmother, she was a very sweet, very normal Christian grandmother, you know, but I didn't see her from about the age of 11 until I was kind of maybe 16, 17.
Wow.
And because I just felt like I was too stifled when I was there, and you know, there was nothing weird or ominous about their home or my grandmother. It was just that I wanted to go and be more weird, you know. I wanted to go.
Well, that seems true.
I hadn't thought about it till you just said, actually.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, but actually then she died quite soon after that, so I didn't actually get to see her very many more times. So.
There seems to be an agenda to turn kids towards the dark side, and the gothic image, because I've been noticing this, that the goth scene is actually being promoted quite heavily, and the thing with the goth scene is that it borders with the satanic scene. You see, the goths are always doing this kind of this hand symbol, you know, the horned hand symbol, and goth clothes are actually borderline with satanic clothes. In satanic dress is more like red and black. Goth is usually more black, but you know, red and black, they're the two main colours of Satanism, and I've made other videos about this, how those two colours are used to represent Satanism. This is a satanic church in Colombia, which is just shows it clearly, which is all red and black. But the danger with the goth scene, even though for some people it's just about the music and about the clothes and about the image, but it kind of propagates this idea of looking into the darkness, seeing no hope, that you see the emptiness of everything, the pointlessness, and you don't look at the positive. You don't want to look at the positive, because then you can't be a goth. A goth doesn't look for the positive. To be a goth, to be part of the goth scene, you've got to look at the negative. You've got to see the bleakness, because I was kind of borderline into that scene as well.
Me too.
Yeah, and so to promote the goth scene is almost like to steer kids away from happiness, steer them away from expressing their joy, smiling, being colourful.
You're not allowed to smile.
Yeah, because goths don't smile. They're supposed to look moody, and they're supposed to be, you know, they're supposed to hate the world or hate normal world.
Yeah. Pale and miserable and
and the thing is, and like I said, then that leads to the satanic. The more deeply you go into the goth scene, and you know, goth clubs and people who are really into the goth, the sadomasochism, it leads to the satanic realm, where it's about indulging the kind of all the sexual desires and no morals, forgetting all morals, and of course there's abuse, satanic abuse. The women usually get pulled into, young women often get trapped in satanic abuse, and they can't speak about it or can't tell anybody because of the threats that hang over them. And so that's one of my major concerns, is that leading children into this idea that the darkness is appealing and the darkness is more fun. Get into the dark side, it's more fun. Be a bad girl rather than a good girl. This message is across the board in the pop industry and TV programs, that being a bad girl is more fun, more desirable, more cool. So of course you've got all these young girls getting these messages from Melanie Martinez videos, from Billie Eilish videos, from plenty of other singers like Halsey and Kesha, and they're all saying the bad side. You want to be on the bad side. That's where the fun is. That's where you'll really, you know, enjoy. That's where you'll really experience life's all about if you get into the bad side. And of course, it's a satanic agenda.